set, go.
Okay, we're back working on this spin out rim with the big rust hole in it. Uh-oh. The other camera guy just showed up, so we better be quick. He's going to try to screw it up. Anyway, we're going to take these last two bolts out, the nuts off, and hopefully pound it. I think the center should fall right out of here. I'm going to give it a tap. I don't know if it's even coming loose at all. Doesn't look like it's, oh, it's cracking loose. Moving out of there now. It's probably gonna fall out. Yeah, there it went. Anyway, that gets the center and a whole bunch of weight out of it. Now I'll be able to get in here and cut this out and figure how far back we got to cut where we got good metal. And that's going to be the repair process. It's probably going to be a multi-piece fix, and I'll video that too when we figure out how we're going to do it. That's it for now. Okay.
Hold up a piece of steel you just cut out of there so you can demonstrate.
I don't even know where it went.
Go.
I understand.
Yeah.
No big ones.
Ready.
No.
No big ones.
You're on.
Okay. We're back to showing you what we did. It's rusted to nothing right there. It's about 1/8 to 3/16 thick right here. That's the chunk we took out. We figured out what we can do. We're going to take it out this way and clean it all up and put a new piece in there. Might not happen that quick, but we're going to do it. And this is how you do it. It's pretty thick all the way up to there, so I'm going to cut back at an angle like I did on this side. That's pretty much cut, but it's welded to this piece of the spin out, so we got to do some little trimming, fine tuning around there and grind that off of there. But what we'll do is probably cut up here and back and take that piece out. It'll take a few minutes. I think I got to change the grinding wheel here in a minute. I got a bunch more cut to do down here. You got it rolling?
Yeah, keep going.
The radio going the whole
I'm
time.
going to use that air tool to chip away at that one side that you're working on.
Yeah, we should have the radio off though.
Tiny Dancer, take 6.
All right. Well, we were just listening to the radio. The thaw's coming, and we're ready for flood season. But anyway, we're still fixing this rim. And I bought this new needle scaler. It removes rust, it can etch concrete, you can do all kinds of stuff with it. I'll give you a quick shot of how it works. Anyhow, that kind of shows you what it does. Removes the big thick scale off of there, gets it ready to prep it with some rough stuff. We're going to continue as long as we don't get a big flood. We cut a big hole out of that rim earlier. I've now took a piece of cardboard, stretched it over on the steel part of the rim, stretched a bungee cord over it so it holds it pretty true to the rim. And we lined up our straight edge with where we need our piece to fit. I already went and traced it out. I'm going to cut that piece out, transfer it onto a piece of steel, which is sitting right over there underneath that motorcycle. That's going to be our test piece. Hopefully it's the piece that goes in. And there's where we're at. It'll probably take quite a few test and fit pieces grinding it to get it to fit in there perfect, but I'm gonna have to bend the radius to fit around the existing part of the rim, and then it should fit just right in the spot where it needs to fit. Alright, here we go. We're gonna rip this pattern out. We got it partly cut in. There it is. Just the way you like it. Tell me when you're ready. There it is. Your pattern. There it is. Your piece after you cut it and you bend it. A bunch of grinding and blah blah blah. So anyway, we got a little more bend we got to put in here, and this got to get bent a little bit the whole way. So this is how I did the first wide section. Just stick it in here and tap on it till you get it wherever you want it. Sometimes you got to go over it once and then come back and hit in between the spots you already did, get you a better curve. Tighten it up a little bit. I don't know, a little closer around. It's tedious anyway. We test fit it. Supposed to sit right in here. It's pretty close. We'll do a little bit of fine tuning with the grinder here and there. We'll probably tack it in, and it should fit pretty nice. That's where we got her. Okay, I'm not gonna cheat you this time. I'm gonna do a little bit of welding and hopefully it works. think that did pretty good. I did one right down the center and one down each side. I'm going to take the screw out. Watch out, it's hot. That's super hot though. That copper dissipated. Oh, that hole's pretty clean. I might do a little more look at it and determine if I gotta do the same process again after a little grinding. But anyway, it does seem like it works. So if you ever run into a situation where you gotta not fill a hole full of weld, that's what you do. Seemed like it worked.
Oh, I didn't think of that. That's all I ever do.
Hey, we're rolling here. We're rolling.
Well, we can edit that part out.
We're gonna be doing
Might not be able to do it.
Yeah.
We got some editing going on here.
Yeah.
Ed.
Yep.
Itting. That's the guy we know.
Yeah, we're just gonna. Man, now that I already tacked that one, it's working.
Just remember, it's not going to be flat on the top.
Yeah,
It's thicker steel.
it's a little bit.
So
Yeah.
you need to feel down below.
I think that's it. Just get it tacked in place. This end's wanging right out over here. We have to do something here to get that to pull over.
There you go.
Oh, I guess that works. Hold that. Push on that.
Here, wait a minute. Oh.
Burn hole my long johns. Alright, there's half-ass tacked in.
Arse.
Arse.
That,
Why would you do that?
Okay, I don't know if we can see it very well, but there's the patch put in that we showed earlier. Since then, I need to make a piece to fit in between there and the bead also. I've made a pattern, which is the lower portion, and I cut it into 3 pieces to make it easier to use my material. And the 3 pieces are laying there. I'm going to use the outer edge of that rim because it's very true, and weld those 3 pieces together that way, and I can kind of quick show you here. Anyhow, I've got those pieces pushed up against that rim edge. I can tack them together lightly and then put them into the position where I want them and bend them relatively easy. I think make it fit pretty good. That's the idea. Probably a bunch of grinder work and a whole bunch of trips back and forth to the grinder anyway. Okay, there's a couple of our pattern pieces laying there at the bottom, the brown paper. If you can see, we've got a ring welded around the outside of that rim, which gives me the contour that I'm looking for the inside part of the bead. I've tacked it at each end. I might give it one more zap and then we're going to pull that thing off of there. I don't even think we're going to give it a zap. We're just going to pull that thing off there. So basically, maybe you can see it from this side, there's a flat ring welded up from that edge. Got it lightly tacked. There, it breaks, it broke right off. There it is. It's kind of haphazard camera work, but it's pretty damn late. It's going to somewhere go in this area and be contoured to fill the gap that's not there in that bead right there. So that's kind of what I'm after. I'll show you a few tacks later. We'll see if it's tonight, might be in the morning. Okay, we got this ring that we're putting on that's wrapping kind of around the rim. I've attached it in this area right here. You probably can't see it that well. There's an ever so slight bit of an angle on this bead. So if you can see, my ring is kind of going in kind of crooked. But as I weld it in there at an angle, there's just a little bit of a bevel right here on this part of the bead, and I'm hoping to be able to wrap that piece right in, kind of wrap it right in there, if you can get what I'm saying, and it should be just right. And then we'll have one little band of flat steel to fill that last little bit of a area around the bead. And I'll true up the last little bit of the bent up edge right here that's remaining from the original wheel. But that's kind of where I'm at. It's going better than I expected. Sometimes you get lucky. Anyhow, there it is for tonight. Do another video in the morning. Tomorrow is Sunday. Should be done tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Ready for whatever. Okay, here we go. I'm going to try to make it quick. Running up low on battery. I started the welds coming around. I'm going to see if I can push it into place and tack it as I go, just by using, probably eyeballing it. There's the hammer. Got her. Okay. Oh, welder trouble. Okay. Hopefully we're still recording. We didn't run out of battery yet. Oh, looks good. Anyway, you probably can't see it all that great. There's that ring kind of halfway welded on there. Probably have to tap it a little bit. I forgot to mention, I added a bunch of relief cuts that I don't know if you can see. Let me see. To help bend around that radius, because my radius was a little off when I made that piece. But anyway, we're building our way up. Need a flat piece across the top. I need to trim across this bottom and make this blend together, and we'll be looking pretty good. Alright, I skipped a whole bunch of steps with the video camera because the batteries went dead, but anyway, the thing's practically done at this point. The radius came out real nice. There was also a rotted spot in the bead. I had to section out a chunk from here to down here and replace all this. I saved just a little lip on the edge, but you can roughly see where the old patch, or the new patch rather, went in right here. It's sanded smooth with a flapper wheel, and I'm going to throw it in the Jeep and take it to a town tomorrow, see if I can find out about what it might cost to have it sandblasted. I don't have a sandblaster. That's the one thing I'm lacking. Okay, looks a little dark in here. We've got a hole drilled in there for the valve stem to come through on the tube. And I'm going to pan back a little bit and you can hopefully see the patch. That's what it looks like from the outside. It's a little bit rustic, but I'm not wasting time grinding on it. The inside is pretty well finished. It's been sanded, ground down, and worked over pretty well. You can hardly tell where the I mean, you can tell where it's at, but it blends in real nice. I did a little bit of work with a file around the valve stem hole to taper it so it doesn't have any sharp edges. And I'm going to do a little more work on the other side and beef it up with a couple washers. And that's it, and then it'll be ready for the primer. Okay, I did a quick little weld on there. That's actually just 2 washers stacked up to give a little thicker flange right where the valve stem comes through. And next I'm going to clean it all up and squirt some self-etching primer on that thing. Okay, I wiped it down with some of this Prep All, the inside of the rim area, with a clean rag. Still got a little bit of a wet spot you can see off to the left side. We'll let it dry for a little while, and I'll start spraying some primer on it. Maybe I'll take a picture partway through that. Alright, started priming on this side. It's a pretty ugly green color. That just leads to tell me that it must be good. Now I'm going to do the whole thing. It stinks like you wouldn't believe. The stuff must be good. And I'll probably do 2 or 3 coats on it if I got that much. And there you have it. Show you putting the tube on and the tire on here in a while. Okay, we're back at it. The rim's painted. I've got the tire laying here on the floor. I'm using a wire brush and a screwdriver to clean the bead up real nice. And wire brush it, scrape it a little with the screwdriver. You can hear the rusty spots with the screwdriver. Anyway, clean it up good and get it ready to put on the rim, and then we'll install the tube. Okay, here's some of this beautiful repair work I've done on this rim. Right here's a clamp that's adjustable that moves up and down this rail at different positions where the holes are, and helps set the depth of tread, or the width rather. Anyway, one of them's cracked. At some point it split. I ground it out, cut a little slot out of the middle, and I put a piece of copper tubing in there. This is the first time I've tried this. Put a piece of copper tubing in there and actually used a drywall screw on this side and a nail on the other side to put pressure up on that tubing to the crack that's in it. I'm going to try welding it and we're going to see what happens. Hopefully that copper tube helps keep the hole from getting full of weld. It's going to be an experiment.